Welcome to Machzor before Rosh Hashana part 3. The highlight of the Rosh Hashana service and experience is the blowing of the shofar. The Gemara, the Talmud tells us, mitzvahs hayoim b'shofar, the essence of the mitzvah of the day is blowing the shofar. But before we blow the shofar, we have a process of preparation to get into the mitzvah of blowing shofar. What we do, and you can find it in the article Machzor on page 432. If you got an Ari Machzor, this version, it's page 127. We begin by reciting chapter 47 in Tehillim 7 times, corresponding to the 7 heavens. In that chapter, it mentions the shofar, it mentions the blowing of the shofar. And then we say 8 verses from Tehillim, from Psalms, responsively after the Chazan, 1 verse at a time. And let me just share with you briefly some of the insights of why we say those 8 verses. The first one, once again, this one can be found in the article on page 434, the Ari, page 127. The first one is Min ha-meitzar korosi ka ononi ba-merchav ka. From distress I call out to you, Hashem. You answer me with abundance. This is very related to the shofar. In fact, it's related to the shape of the shofar. Because the word min ha-meitzar, from distress, meitzar also means narrowness. If you look at a shofar, we blow the shofar into a very narrow mouthpiece, and the voice comes out in a very broad place. Symbolic of what happens, we blow the shofar when we're feeling a little bit small, we're feeling humble, we cry out to Hashem. But the process of shofar allows us to be elevated, to reconnect and to receive God's abundant and broad blessings. That's why we begin with that pasuk, with that verse. Following that, we recite 6 verses, starting with the one Koili Shimo Kechazdecho Hashem, and so on. And if you look at those 6 verses, the first letter of each word, of each verse, makes up 2 words, Kra Sotom, tearing apart Satan. On Rosh Hashana we are told, especially when we blow the shofar, the forces of prosecution, the voice of the Satan is completely confused, torn up, and nothing can stand in the way of our reconnection with God. And finally, before we make the blessings, we recite the 8th verse, Olo Elokim Bisruah Hashem Bekoil Shofar. God ascends through the blowing of the shofar, the truah, and Hashem with the voice of the shofar. What's the significance of this pasuk? This pasuk, this verse mentions 2 names of God, Elokim and Hashem. We know that Elokim is the name of God that represents judgment. The other name of God, the Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey, Hashem, is the name that represents mercy. We are taught that when we blow the shofar, Hashem ascends, he gets up, so to speak, from the throne of judgment, and he sits down on the throne of mercy. Rosh Hashana is a day of judgment, but when we blow the shofar and we try and experience the reconnection that is symbolized through the shofar, God transforms. There's a transformation from judgment into mercy, and all the blessings flow on from that. Have a great day.